What's up, motherfuckers? Another one. What is today? Tuesday?
Yeah, garbage night.
I don't even know what fucking day of the week it is anymore.
Tuesday, garbage night.
Yeah, it's garbage night. It's Tuesday. So, first one ever. I actually have somebody in the room besides me and Brad. My buddy Ash is here.
What's up?
We're just hanging out, discussing whatever the fuck comes across the mind as usual. So we figured hit record and see what happens. You know, people probably getting tired of just hearing me all the time. Might nice to get another face in the room, I guess, even though you can't see us.
I've told you can post a photo of me in one of your videos, but you know, that's just because I've been doomed with vanity.
Yeah, but I'd rather throw up a cool meme, at least get something to look at. The last video I did, have you watched it with the spider translucent thing when he's flipping off the camera? I put the warp effect on. That photo is like it's like watching an acid trip, man. Everything melts. So you're like,
yeah.
If you're kind of stoned and you watch that, you're like, oh my god, like, because it's real slow and I have it gapped over a long period of time, and it's just like I did that for my own personal benefit. That's a selfish move on my part. I'm not gonna lie, because like if I watch back to it narcissistically, at least I can look at something and be like, turn my head and like you're hypnotized into it.
And there's a clip a couple before that one where you have the scene from Fear and Loathing where they're in the car. But it's like very stylized. It's very stylized. Yeah, very stylized, like illustrated art. But then you have that slow color transition effect on it, and it's so cool because you can just watch like that cartoon of Johnny Depp almost. Well, of course it's Hunter S. Thompson, but you can watch him fade into like purples and oranges and weird. And I swear to God, you're right, man. You're like the conversation's cool, and you're just like staring into an awesome
I obviously have an obsession with Hunter S. Thompson-based shit between the Transmetropolitan references and Hunter S. Thompson memes. The fact that the laptop we're using right now is propped up by the Great Shark Hunt, I swear to God, that dude's fingerprints are all over my personality.
Are you talking about shark cunts again?
Shark cunts? Oh,
shark cunts? Terrifying. I've never had anything. I would not get my face near a shark cunt.
You just gotta get behind them.
Oh, some chains and hooks. We're not promoting.
Just gotta get a
shark rape.
That's all. Just get a real nice show.
Oh, the great shark cunt.
Talk about choking out a shark. I don't know.
How great of a shark cunt is it?
No, that's a good book, by the way. I honestly, I'm only 3/4 of the way through it, but it's all fractionalized, fucking different stories and different pieces he did, so it's fun as hell to read. If you're a fan of the movie, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, that narrative, that jumpy, manic, like paced style, it really reads like that too. He wrote like that. That dude had a way of capturing, like the awkward, absurdist notion of being on a psychedelic trip in a social environment, just being like, I'm in a room full of cops right now. Holy shit!
I think,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, from even just a writer's point of view, but more just like as any human observer, like Hunter S. Thompson, there's something to be said about how he could paint a picture. You know, and what I'm saying is not just through literature, but just his essence in itself. Watch the documentary on his life at all, any kind of artistic, like a stamp of what his life was like, or what we can perceive it as. Hunter S. Thompson was like the American rebel for his generation in so many cool ways.
It's crazy as shit.
That shit fucking crazy. I respect him for that.
You'd never get away with that now. You're that guy now? No fucking way.
Yeah,
you get shot by the cops or something.
There's only room for one Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah,
they would wake up.
And like it had to like line up perfectly with historical timing and the way like the power structure worked and police systems and stuff. Today you'd be like just bailing on big bills and stealing convertibles and shit, like stuff he really did. His intro story about throwing a bottle at somebody leaving. I think it was the Air Force.
Yeah,
smashed somebody in the face with a bottle.
Yeah, and the fact that he got out of the Air Force with an honorable discharge, if you look up the history of him, is amazing, to say the least.
Shows power of words, because they knew that he could just fucking, if he really set his sights on him, tear him apart.
I don't even know if it was that. I think not very many people were really in on the whole thing, and he really just drove his senior bad
but he was writing for them during that time. That's what he was good at.
Yeah, he was just, doing the sports paper or something.
They were probably just like, this guy's fucking bad shit. Get rid of him.
I think that's really what it was. They just let him go. They just knew.
So bad shit they didn't want to touch it.
They just knew it wasn't worth any hassle. Let that crazy go.
Well, for what it's worth, I think that's why he makes a great icon almost for Slander podcast, because I think a lot of the shit we cover here is about that. It's about not telling people how to live, not trying to coerce anybody into anything what they don't want. Just being another voice in their life, perhaps, that says, get the fuck up and do something for real. Stop watching it happen on TV and make it your own, bitches. And I say that tongue-in-cheek, of course, but I mean it, man. Fucking goddamn, we gotta wake up. If you got one trip, man, make it a fucking fun one, dude. Don't die alive. Christ almighty.
Have the balls
it's a waste of time.
Wade into muddy waters.
It's a waste
have
of
the
living
balls
cells.
if you're there, make the most of it.
Exactly, like you said, you went from a sports writer to a fucking...
I'm not advocating Hunter S. Thompson
to a legend, you know?
The news pretty tight.
Yeah, I wouldn't advocate Hunter S. Thompson's lifestyle for the faint of heart at all. That is a desperado, last of the American outlaw sort of lifestyle that you would probably never see again, which is why it's so cool to read all this shit. But you know, I guess the next generation is now like it's our turn to like evolve that into something where you can get away with it now. That would be my optimistic view on it.
I'd hate to get myself in trouble, but
take it and make it 2.0.
I've exposed my 11-year-old son to Hunter S. Thompson's work and who he was as a historical figure. But with that being said, I did it in the context I just spoke of. Like, I explained it to him as a dad would any good dad, I suppose. You know, this is somebody who went from this to this, and he did it his way, and he seemed to be a fairly happy man. And like I said, a little bit batshit crazy. Yeah, man, I think you can't really escape that part, but you fuck it.
Both come from very liberal families, though, don't you? Like, your family is very liberal, and except his family's the same way. I came from a very, like, Hitler runs this motherfucker kind of situation.
My parents were pretty hippies. Hippie-ish, I should say. And I hate that word.
I don't know if I call them liberal, but I call them straight down the middle.
Yeah, no, you described them as like healthy to me. It's a rare thing.
Yeah, they have a healthy relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
There's
very rare.
Balance there.
It's very rare. That's not to say anything. It's just that's the state of things. You know what I mean? You look around, you're like, oh, at least I'm not. That's not mine. You know what I mean? Or
I kind of felt odd sometimes, thinking after a while that my parents were the only ones that haven't gone through a divorce. They get along. They don't yell at each other. You know, everybody else.
When dysfunction becomes the norm, and you're like, I feel weird for it being healthy.
And it was just mayhem and craziness. And it was like, never.
You're like, I have a stable, loving environment. I feel out of place.
I'm sure you saw some nice.
Why don't you hate each other?
Right? Like as a child, because my parents, my folks made it to my dad's death, which that's just something out of any marriage's control. But anyway, you know, I can concur with you. They did it, but I saw it happen without, you know, there was bumps, fucking for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying about the middle of the road too. Like, my parents were liberal, but there was a balance to running a household, raising two boys. Now, they didn't let shit run loose, but they also didn't restrain us in a way that made us act extra fucked up, I think, would have what caused that, you know. You strap a child down too hard and you end up with a Cody on your hands like we have here, you know. Look out, world.
And now I really could have gone either way. Look at my family's history, and I mean, a lot of them didn't fucking make it, man. Like, they fucked up hard. By the way. And then the potential for me to do that was very great. Like, and I've reined it in, and I know what I got to do now, and I'm focused, and I got my shit together. But you know, a lot of people they don't know when to fucking let off the gas. Sometimes you get so full of yourself, and you just keep plowing forward, and you like just justify everything by being like, I gotta do what I gotta do. That it gets out of control, and then the next thing you know, you're all jammed up, and your life is fucked up for a couple of years, and then like you can't go back in time and be the person you were before that happened to you. So I don't know. I look at it long-term goal wise.
Yep. I've been in that. Yep. I think it's almost like a continuous part of being alive, though. Like, yes, your analysis is completely correct, but I think eventually you realize it's like a loop, and it's not necessarily like you have to keep making the same fucking mistakes, and they're generally the same things, but it's the same framework, if you will, that life is a cycle of like choices, as we always discuss. And you know, but it's not going to stop where you're like, oh yeah, life is just on easy street. I don't care how much money or love you have in your life. Life is just it's a being alive is you work. Oh fuck, I'm.
Well, I mean,
I'm not saying it's work. I'm saying it's
It is work.
Fuck.
It is like it's
Fuck.
every you gotta work for every fucking inch, man. I mean, I met Ash.
I think I'm history repeats itself. That's
when
all.
I met Ash, though, I had no idea what I was doing in my life, man. I was just working a retail job, getting by, and none of this was even conceived of. I've gone from like making $9 an hour or whatever as a photo guy to being like, now I have these aspirations. I actually want to do something, and like that period. But it took me like just I don't know. Sometimes you just have to like do the grind, and then the answer just points at like
you have to build perspective.
Yes, yeah, you got to give yourself time to digest what the fuck has just happened, or you know what I mean, like how you got here. Because like you don't know you're an adult until you're like 20 decisions in. You know, you've already fucked it up before you even knew it. You've already fucked it up, and it just depends on how bad you fuck it up before you can put it back together, or do what you can with it. Or sometimes you're fucking up. I was just explaining it on the last podcast. I was like, thank God for my indecision, because now I'm in a position to fucking do what I want to do. I'm glad I didn't jump into some career field and become like law enforcement or get on some 20-year track planning, retirement, good money, and working a job and taking on a house and stuff like that. Like I easily could have gone down that path. I was actually pressured to pretty hard, and it's like you dodged one there. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of friends, man, that they've gone down over the years, like who I can look around and be like, oh shit, there goes another one. You know, and we always talked about getting out and doing something with our lives, and now they're gonna be around here with kids and working and fucking, you know, they got a place to live, and it's, you know, I'm not condemning them for it, you know, and everybody's got their own life, but
I'd almost call it a necessity.
I've been hard to pin down.
Not to be a dick to anybody who's got to have that life before them or living that life currently. But I dare say, being the relativist that I am, so to speak, shit, without those types of droney folks around, perhaps maybe what we consider glorious outbursts of creative energy wouldn't be able to be observed as they are, because there wasn't a contrast to it, you know what I mean? We have to have a depression to have a euphoria, so to speak. But I know that narrative, you're like, that don't cut it for me most of the time, because you want to say, fuck that, there is more, I demand.
There's a healthy way to do it all.
And that's...
We're just childish.
And that's cool.
We're stuck on it, like, well, because we have to justify all the shit we went through. So you don't want to be like, oh, it was all pointless.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, we did that all for no reason. Why? Because people are stupid.
Right.
It doesn't make you feel good.
Right.
I don't know. I think we're just built to exist, and I think you can get to that comfort zone where you're existing, and you can, time slips by, and you just don't.
Yeah, when you're really focused on like you just what's in front of you a lot, and you're making decisions from that world, the next thing you know, you'll notice the week has gone by, and you're like, where the fuck did that week go? Yeah. But like when you're in torture and you're grinding it out, and you don't want to go to work tomorrow, that like Monday through Thursday might feel like the longest couple of days you've ever had ever, or like certain 8-hour shifts where you just like you're like you want to scream. But it's like that silent one in your head. You just stand there staring with a blank stare at the customers as they walk by you. You've got to know what I mean. I mean, you did that for a long fucking time, dude, before you bailed on the retail like I did.
I think if you're not sucking one kind of dick, you're going to have to suck another. And I know that was a horrible analogy. But I think, and I'm not just, maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate for the fun of it, but, you know, like, I think everybody's existence, like he used the word exist, you know, everybody's existence has a little bit of cocksucking involved to it, and if you're not privy to liking to suck dick, you just have to learn to, you know, a little bit, because everyone's got their level of like, oh, this sucks. Like tonight, you mentioned it was garbage night. Neither of us wanted to get up off our ass and get it started, but by golly, we just got it fucking done. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I guess I look at every moment of every second like that's what life is. It's just there's challenges and then there's moments of like challenge.
You've had people freak out on you in a pharmacy or like over in cosmetic store returns, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
That's never fun.
Silly people.
So I just mean like you see the ugly sides of everything, and then you want to have faith in humanity, but then you look around and you're like, fuck.
Oh yeah, there's always something that crushes that.
It just crushes your hope, man. You'll start to get positive and be like, it's possible. And then you go to a fucking store and get stuck in line and you're like, oh, never mind.
You don't have to be in line sometimes, just walking around the store and witnessing the behavior of these full-grown adults.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why for a lot of us, instead of turning to church, and I don't speak for anybody in this room, but myself, will you touch that mouse so it wakes back up? Thank you.
Yep.
anyway, I think a lot of people, the same way turn to church, like we turn to comedy, or at least I turn to comedy. For me, that's my salvation. If I take a
Stereotypical.
a we were talking about it in the last one, satire.
Satire.
Satirical.
Satirical. Thank you very much, Ash. If you take more of a fuck it, you know what I mean. A comedic point of view. There we go. Fucking English A student. If you take it from more of that aspect, I think you go a longer way. Like, waiting in line for a sub, and you got a douche in front of you on the phone who won't order because he's got his girlfriend on the line, and it's like, what do you want, honey? Are you sure? I thought you were allergic to onions. And you're just sitting there going, why didn't you guys work this out at home? What the fuck is wrong with people? You go to a joke in your head. You're like, you imagine their life is a comedy, and you're just part of it in line. Like, yup, I'm the dipshit that has to stand here and witness this shit.
Ash could attest to this. Beating the guy behind a cash register. And you see like a chick walk in with 3 kids, and you're like, those poor fucking children. You're like, they're fucked. There's no way they're getting out of that. You know what I mean? Like, unless one of them really like has a good mushroom trip somewhere and realizes it's all bullshit, they're kind of fucked.
I guess.
Especially if there's like
it's not their fault when they're like 4. You know what I mean? They're just being taught.
Yeah, if there's 3 on foot and 2 in the cart, man, I'm sorry, your life is probably over. Oh, that sounded so bad, but that's just from a guy who has an only child, and I like it that way. It's cool, and it's my style.
No,
if you like having 5 children, that's go for that's.
Proud to
that's
say I have not spawned anything yet.
I think having a child's paramount to child abuse.
That was perfect, bro.
That
sounds like something my father would say.
You're instantly putting something in the existence that's going to suffer.
It's going to cause pain.
I guess unless you're
welcome to suffering.
If you're filthy rich or something, then it's fine to have children.
Yeah, but you're still going to know pain of life and mental anguish.
Well, to a point, but at least you're going to.
Well, just depending on the variables, your story will be said story. It is like a mathematical.
You're like one of the Rockefeller children, I don't think life's gonna treat you too bad.
Well, you're probably drinking human blood and fucking worshiping some altar, and you pull like leaders in from the around the world and be like, all right, here's your fucking memo. Shut the fuck up and go do it. You're like, just watch shit get killed for pleasure. I don't know, have weird sexual fantasy things. Those people fucking Eyes Wide Shut probably doesn't even scratch the surface. It's probably so fucking messed up. It's absolute power like that. Oh my god. And it exists. To think that it doesn't exist is retarded.
Well, that's what I tried to point out in one of the last podcasts. It's good you're getting up there in numbers because I'm starting to forget which ones are which is that's a good sign of progress. It's a blur, man. It's a blur. But I was saying, like, if we want to talk about the theys, like people always like to say, well, they, and it's typically a conversation about the people who have the most power or money, and money equals power. So, as I stated on that last one, these people get accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and if you're born into said lifestyle, it's kind of hard to see through a different lens, because I imagine, like, if I was born
and that's where I get bitter and angry, because I know that's a fucking lie, because I did. You know what I mean? Like, I had to, otherwise I would not. But maybe it's just my role play. Maybe I'm supposed to be the smart one in my family, even though it's pretentious for me to say that.
But if you have everything at your fingertips and you're born into having everything at your fingertips,
I think what Brad's saying is that if you're born into a family that has that much power, like let's say if you're born into the Rockefeller family, that you're never going to be able to see the perspective.
Would you go settle for a smaller apartment?
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's just never going to happen.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm able to put myself. I think I'm able to put myself in the position of the power elite.
Some people can break away. I'm not saying
so wouldn't it theoretically work the other way?
They can go explore it, but that's not the same as having the same perspective.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
born and growing in the poverty.
I would say that a statistical majority of them can't. But there would be cerebral motherfuckers on the other side of the fence that could, like, just as we could probably sort of put ourselves in their shoes and, like, imagine having that and doing it and what your motives would be, you can kind of feel that evil rise up in you. I'm sure that there's cerebral, philosophical spectrum for their
but take it a
side
step
of the
further.
fence where, they can sit there and go, no, they're going to do this, because they got to have that guy to know what our response is going to be. So they got to know us. They got to know us.
Yeah, there's an awareness, I think, but I don't think. I think when you're in a position like that, you don't.
Are you? Is the question?
But your apathy is so much easier to be like, yeah, but the car stereo is so awesome, and yeah, but our TV on our and you start to just grow. You, especially like we were just talking about being born into it. So let's say, for instance, let's set a hypothetical. Let's say for the sake of being hipster, you tried to break away from said royalty and play life as a common man and try to live on what means or, a minimum wage, whatever. And let's say if that gentleman had siblings, if your phone, let's say you at least carried a cell phone, was blown up and it's your brother or sister or whoever, family, cousin, saying, hey, we got the yacht, man, we're down here, we got everybody, and we're partying, what are you doing? You get enough of those phone calls, and I'm sorry, dude, if your family's going, we're having a great time, what are you doing? Flipping burgers at whatever, and you wouldn't settle. You'd be like, I'm just gonna go hang out where the money is and have a good time, But
the hipsters that are doing that they're the kind of the ones that they're still kind of umbilical to their parents, so they have some money. Yeah. But the point of that is it allows them to venture to be an artist. To be able to afford a studio, because really being an artist, I don't think has anything to do with how good you are as an artist. I think it has everything to do with actually doing it and marketing it to the right people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's weird art out there that kind of makes no sense that a child could do.
Yeah, I would say
this person's just doing it.
Yeah,
they're the
you're
person that's
tapping into
actually
a
out there
certain
grinding the gears.
resonance or frequency.
And because they came from that resource base, they were allowed to really push and do what they wanted to do. Like, if I had a resource base, to have done it, I'd have the killerest ass studio in the world, But I don't have a resource base. It's something that the poor people have to, if you're born into poverty, or even born in what we call the middle class, which is barely not poverty. I mean, the kids are left to their own means. They just have to scrape by and work hard and build up piece by piece what they can. And
this is an opinion, not a fact, but that's why, in my opinion, I think most of the art that I appreciate most in the audio and visual department, I think is the product of typically impoverished situation of sorts, if you will. Typically art.
Everybody loves an underdog.
Art that comes from like a bank account that's like pre-existing typically isn't as enjoyable. But there's something to be said for my ears and my eyes. I just see through it. You know what I mean? I don't even have to do research on the artist, and I can see it. I can see the actual pain and suffering involved. I can hear it with my own ears.
When you actually enjoy what you're doing, and you're doing it for like the right reasons, that translates.
It does.
People will get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll reach your audience.
Yeah.
Because they'll get there'll be a certain amount of people that'll go. They'll know where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? It's not like what I'm saying so fucking out of context that you could never understand what I'm saying. Now there are times where I hit certain theories or I'd spout off something where I'm like, yeah, that's probably gonna sound like a foreign language to somebody that doesn't think like I do. Because sometimes you say something because it's like a thought about a thought about a thought.
Yeah.
Because you have to get abstract to solve certain problems or situations when you're talking like sociological level scale shit. That if you just say that to the average person, they've never even thought down that trail before, they're gonna go. You're just gonna hear noise.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like, what? You just said a bunch of bullshit.
And I think that's why our elders simplify things for us. Like, trust me, Sonny, you're gonna appreciate it more if you have to work harder at it. And at the time you hear wah 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 wah.
Yes, peanuts.
But the truth is, when you break it down, like we are in a more maybe philosophical level, or perhaps just really more of an analytical level, I think it's the same premise. You enjoy the things and they come across better for other people the harder you have to work at it. And again, not to advocate suffering, but I think there's like the diamond analogy, under all that amount of weight you get this precious gem, and I think the same is true of art, you know what I mean? Under tremendous amounts of obstacles, then you really do hear and see some shit that makes you go, wow. That's fucking cool, or that sounds awesome,
Well, I mean, if you think back to a lot of even the great artists, they weren't even famous till after they were dead.
Right. I make that joke with my family all the time. Boy, I hope you guys can sell some of these fucking paintings when I'm dead, because sure as shit we can barely pay the bills right now. If you look behind Ash, if you were here in the studio, you'd see a pile of probably 50, half-done canvases, and finished paintings and shit. And I figure, fuck it, when I'm dead, if it's worth anything, eBay that shit, man. Pay the bills. I don't give a fuck. I won't be here. That just sounded so pretentious, like my art is worth the fuck. I apologize, folks.
No, at least
I like painting. That's why I do it. I don't fucking do it for the money.
You're creating shit.
Of course, after I'm dead, I just want the best for my family. That's all I'm saying.
Whether Ash does a song, or Brad paints a painting, or I put out a podcast, you want to create content. You want to put stuff into the world. I don't want to just take.
I can't even help
I want to
myself.
give. You know what I'm saying? But not like be pretentious, be like my gift to you.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
just contribute to the interesting.
I like to say thanks for putting up with me.
The enjoyment
because
of life,
I can't help myself. I constantly do, and like now you're doing the podcast thing, and it almost comes down to thank you for putting up with this. This is my chosen field of outlet and expression. Oh, here, look at some more of my shitty art. Here's another shitty song I wrote. Check it out. But you know what? Once in a while, you get a gangbusters thing going, and it's like, hey, that's pretty fucking cool, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that, folks. Not a thing.
People like what they like.
Yeah.
You like a real person that's just throwing down knows that, like, if you're gonna live and die by that law, you know, either this will grow into something or it won't. So it's fuck it either way. That's the way it actually works. It's not. You got to really have some kind of hook or gimmick to get overnight sensation shit going.
Yeah. Well, no.
I forgot the soundboard at the house.
It just has to. It has to appeal to a certain number of people. I mean, there's something to be said for pop music. It's generated in such a way to appeal to our unfortunate population, and that's a sign of sickness right there in itself.
What he's trying to say is Americans are dumb.
No, I didn't say. No, I'd never say that.
They're dumb.
America, bah.
Well,
bah. Bah, people. I mean, sheeple. Bah.
They're done by design.
Dumb by design, yes.
It's not your fault.
I fundamentally broke down that process over the several podcasts that I've done so far.
That is the course that people are steered into.
Nobody's born perfect. Nobody's fucking.
We're very suggestible and gullible.
Yep.
It's in our nature.
And there's been a system.
You have to develop the muscle to like
not
think for yourself
think outside of,
and go, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't commit to this just blindly.
Because
maybe it's not in my best fucking interest.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
But that ad.
I'm sorry. Did I rattle somebody's entire reality? Jesus Christ.
But Geico
I thought that was a common
commercials are the
sense thought.
funniest.
What?
Geico commercials are the funniest. That's the insurance I should use because they're the funniest commercials. Bah. Bah. Sorry, folks.
Exactly. The stupidest people are, we give them fucking metal weapons and let them drive around with them. That's terrifying.
It is mystical how the painted lines on the road keep the chaos. When you think about that's really what's stopping
for what
people
could
from
happen.
Death is a painted line on the road.
It's not very far stretched from putting a chimpanzee in a glass box
It's proof
with a
of
few
how
colorful
hypnotized we are by the
boxes and
society
asking
system.
it to arrange them accordingly, and then having said chimpanzee arrange said boxes. It's pretty much the same premise, you know. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, stay in the lines. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, yes, I understand.
Yeah, but it's also the same reason that you race in front and be flipping a dude off and somebody gets shot. It's stupid as hell.
Yeah, because if another
person when you're in your car, right?
fucking pyramid down that I worked hard for to get a banana, I'd be mad too.
I will attest being a different person behind the wheel.
Yes, exactly. Everybody is.
People drive like
It's a common premise. People have talked about it before, but it's true.
Shit, I typically drive around town in my wheelchair. I have road rage. I have wheelchair road rage. Now
you always bitch if you're walking.
Son of a bitch.
Bitch if somebody doesn't shovel their sidewalk. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're always gonna bitch. We're bitchy by nature.
If you see an angry-looking old man in a wheelchair riding around Elmira, that's me, folks. I'm not really mad. I just have that look on my face, just trying to get to my destination.
People ask me all the time, "Are you mad?" I was like, "Nope, just thinking."
Yeah. Why does everybody think I'm pissed all the time, man? I'm just.
You gotta look up with that dead eye stare. Yes, I'm mad. And then go back to thinking.
Yeah. I do that all the time though. Like somebody will be talking to me. I'm just so used to being in social situations where I have to learn to turn it into the fuzz. Like just because I can't take in so much stupidity at one time. And I hate to sound like that guy, but you have to phase it out.
You kind of
be zen. You know what I mean? Just kind of like, you know, if you can't do that, it's gonna fuck with your mood and your buzz. It's all about self-accountability. Well, yes, it's there, and yes, people shouldn't be that way. It doesn't matter. They are that way. It is that way. It's happening that way. You might as well do something about it. See, people always want to win arguments. It's not about winning arguments. It's
just about having them, I think.
Yeah, it's really what it is.
Sharing information.
Yeah.
Different points of view.
Different points of view. If you encourage certain behavioral habits in a social situation with a group of friends, like you kind of all have your code, that shit's infectious. You know what I mean? If you kind of just don't step over certain boundaries and that's how you always conduct yourselves and party and get together and do whatever you do, that will spread wherever the fuck you are located. Like, especially if there's like, say, 20 of you. You can take over a whole bar environment, you know? And the next thing you know, the person that fucks up and comes in and fucks your night up, it gets tossed quick because everybody's like, looks at him like, what the fuck?
But back to
who the hell are you? Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not cool. Not
back
cool,
to
bro.
healthy debate,
You know?
though.
It's such a stoner thing, but it works.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I've seen it work.
Yeah. But I grew up in a household where now as an adult, you know, an older adult myself, I have plight for my mom. I see her perspective now more than ever, where she grew up in a household where now I can see
Surrounded by fucking testosterone.
Well, there was my dad, my dad was a very
rough.
philosophical thinking type, you know, intellectual. My brother and I both, by proxy, grew up as like conversation and thought and thinking about thinking and talking about thinking. My mother was not an unintelligible person, but caught in the mix of three guys who argued what it looked like to her as arguments for argument's sake. We'd have to explain to her, we're not arguing, we're just debating. But she's like, well, it looks like you're arguing to me. And it's like, no, man, we're having fun, you know? Well, you're all red in the face and pissed off looking. It's like, no, we're just fired up, you know? And that's the household I grew up in. My brother, my dad,
That's what
and
a
I
good philosophy class will do.
Yeah,
Get going.
that's why philosophy class comes natural to me. It's like my childhood. My brother and my dad and I would
I
sit
don't take
around.
offense when I speak with
we
people.
would just
and,
argue for
like,
argument's
we're talking
sake.
about a touchy subject. And it's like, no, man, you should be allowed to say what you're gonna say. You know, if you say something to me and I go, wait, but what about this? And then you go, yeah, but this, and that's how it's supposed to work. People are always like,
Yeah.
you don't believe my fucking manifesto? Get away from me. It's like, wow, really, megalomaniac much?
Haven't been challenged much in life, you know what I mean?
I consider myself like malleable. Like, I am not defined by my own will to a certain extent. Like,
Yeah.
life kind of runs you. You take part in life. Do you know what I mean? Like, that has adverse side effects like a drug would. Like, it's just beyond your control. But like, the best you can do is try to keep a good head about it and like try to like surf the wave a little bit. You know what I mean? And like hit the peaks like with maximum velocity when you do, and then on the downfall, try to glide into it. Whatever comes your way, you got to roll with it. It's been stated a million different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roll with the punches, go with the flow. It's just that's there for a reason, people.
But it's okay, I think, to go on about it and to try to reframe it different ways, because I think, as we've discussed again before, everyone not only learns things differently, but everyone hears and perceives things obviously differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, trying to reframe things for people, I think, is like, it's not like a pretentious gift. It's just something you can try to contribute to humanity's sake, that perhaps people aren't receiving the correct, or the what I would consider a message of correctness, simply because like the language we speak in itself is a very difficult thing, and perception is a difficult thing to get your head around. And so it's cool to take time to try and reframe things that have been reframed for thousands of years. And you know, as a white male or whatever, shit, that's what our history books are full of, is white men with beards trying to figure shit out. My beard's getting whiter by the fucking day, folks, and so I guess I'm one of those motherfuckers. I just can't stop thinking.
I'm grateful for the ability to be a weird white guy, and it's not meant to be racial. Just
A weird white guy.
as a weird white guy, because we are special.
Yeah, I'm a
You can
weird
be
white guy, definitely.
Like, just because of who I am, I'm allowed to go off the deep end a little more. That's my only point. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just glad that I was kind of set in a frequency where I was more apt to like really push the fucking. And I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not saying anything. I mean, just talking about the weird abstract like experience of life. Just, dude, I may go crazy and be in a loony bin someday. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? So it's dangerous when I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is dangerous, people. Trust me.
All right, well,
Thinking is
is
fun, exciting,
Wear
and
your
dangerous.
thinking helmet.
we should pause for a second because Cody's picked up on the fact that we're gonna put him in the BSU, and
We're gonna pause for a second anyway because I need coffee,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
me too. But he's on to us now. He knows we've been tapping the phone, so we're
Oh,
gonna pause it and
shit.
let it in easy.
Oh, shit, fucking FBI. and shit.
Sorry, dude.
NSA's probably listening to this whole
Well,
thing
you've
anyway.
been talking this crazy.
Yeah, we're back. Yay.
Hey, what's up, folks?
Yay. We took way too long of a break before we fucking. I don't want to say that out loud. Let me rethink what I was about to say, people. It doesn't matter. But yeah, procrastinators. Yeah, we'll go with that.
We refilled our coffees and took leaks. All right, big fucking deal.
Big deal. Big deal. Started having conversations when we should have just like launched a podcast back up because we were going full bore anyway. Yeah, it just shows how on top of things we are. I don't even know if I said that right. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we were just talking about creating shit though and stuff. That's where we were.
Yeah, the high that you get from like
Just putting stuff out.
whether it be like Ash here, which we're gonna put a link in this video to his music page, but he's an audiophile, which is a word I like to throw around. Audiophile. It's just somebody that really has like a deeper sense of. Anyway, he programs and writes and records his own stuff, and you'll see a link under this video. But we were talking about the joy that you get from almost that, dare I say, godlike creative feeling, you know, of anything, whether it's art or music, you know.
We encourage people that have the balls to just like, yeah, fuck it, yeah, that's what I do.
Even if you can strum 2 chords.
You don't like it,
20,
whatever.
You know, yeah, put it out there, throw it against the wall, see if somebody is like, wow, that's cool, you know, fuck it. If nobody likes it, did you have fun doing it? That's what matters most.
Throw enough shit so one of them will stick.
Yep, that's true. Diversity.
Exactly. Just start throwing shit against the wall and something will stick eventually.
Shit, you listen to my
I
catalog
mean, like,
and stuff,
you're gonna
it's
have to put in the
everything
hours to
from
become
pop to hardcore.
refined at your craft anyway, so you might as well spend it just trying a million different things. You know what I mean? That way you kind of just, I don't know, you're putting in like that, how they always say, what is it, like the 10,000 hour mark or some shit for like production? Like you gotta do
To be
something.
a master of any craft,
Yeah,
it takes 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
I've painted
So couldn't
my
you just
share
do
of
that with-
alien zombies, and I've
Couldn't you
painted
just do
my
that with
share
like an
of
explosion of
pretty flowers.
creative, like different endeavors?
I kind of assume if they were at least somewhat similar.
Yeah. You're like, well, yeah, you're putting together narratives and stuff like that, and just depending on your field. I mean, you guys are musicians. I envy that. I wish I could work on that shit.
Well, that's what we were just talking about. That Cody's been hitting around it, like getting some of this software that we use on his hands, and I told him, I'm like, do it, dude. Just fucking get. There's tons of free software out there, and I have copies of shit that I can toss his way.
I just look at it like I think
just
I
sit
could
there and make noises and put them together
program
anyway.
beats
you know?
instead of like
Fuck
play
it.
video games. You know
Not
what I mean?
to
Just use that
belittle
time
the
to do that
craft,
instead.
but,
Like
you
I
know.
find that fun. I just wonder if I would. If I get into it and I enjoy it, then so be it. If not, so whatever. Just to say I'm going to pay that money for that software right away. Shh, I don't encourage any illegal activities on this podcast. I'm just talking realistically.
Yeah. And we are also
Prove it.
well, we were discussing, you know, the world of sampled drums versus, you know, or programmed drums versus, you know, live recorded drums, and you know, the pros and cons and whatnot. And there's a lot to be said from all different angles on that, and I respect all the different points of view. But as far as the creative aspect, you know, to be able to sit and wield that kind of power, especially for someone like myself who, you know, let's just get real, people. My chances of becoming a really technical, world-renowned drummer are nil because of my condition, so to speak. But anyway, in the world that I have in software, I can be the most world's technicalist fucking, that wasn't the word, drummer in the world, and program these outstanding beats. And so for me, it's not necessarily what I do with it, it's actually the art of act of doing it. Is when I have my headphones on and I'm programming stuff, I feel like that if I wanted to play drums, this is how I would do it, you know, and it's a good feeling. And I guess I'm just encouraging anybody that has that itch, go ahead and scratch that motherfucker, because it is fun. And like I said, if you do a little digging around or whatever on the internet, you'll find tons of programs to make audio with, you know, and have a good time. You don't need
Ease of
you don't need money.
access to make creative things is now at an all time. I don't know.
Hi.
Yeah.
My
it's-
name is.
I guess then again, the only hurdle therefore after that is you need to be able to have the base hardware, which does take some resources to get your hands on anymore. But
You make
Yeah.
a good point. That's
that's
true.
the hard part.
But you can
Yeah.
get like a good movie camera for a couple $1,000 now.
Oh yeah, just
So-
a couple $1,000.
Yeah, no big
Blow
deal
your
for
couple
the
thousand.
Yeah, but like versus the day would have been like 100,000.
I was thinking more like, you
Probably
know,
tech-
we were talking about music.
kidding,
I know you
sorry.
can get started relatively inexpensive with computer music, but you still need a computer.
Yep.
And you need some place to get internet access so where you can get some
Yeah, there's
stuff
certain-
rolling. And
Yeah.
I suppose you could be that kid at Corning, you know, or well, that's where we go to college, or any college for that matter. I suppose if you're that student at school that took a pair of headphones with them every day and somehow
Just leaks
snuck
their
in
Wi-Fi.
snuck in a downloaded copy of some Fruity Loops or whatever, and
Go
went
to
to
McDonald's,
the, went
shit
to
on
the
their
computer
Wi-Fi,
lab
Jesus.
every day for an hour
Well,
of programming.
I mean, even
You could
computer
get
lab
it.
anymore.
You could get it done. Well, we have a computer lab that you could go
Where,
and do that and eat food.
Where I
and
went
stuff.
to school last, we'd see the guys in the cafeteria with the small MIDI controllers, like the 25 key Axiom controllers,
Yeah.
and a laptop and headphones, and they're just making beats.
Just in the lounge or
Making
wherever.
beats,
Yeah.
making beats.
That's what I mean. Where we go, there's couches and shit everywhere and tables.
Shit,
and
my cell phone
we can just
now
sit down and do whatever the
impresses
fuck
the
we
shit out of
want.
me. I can't believe it. My smartphone, if I put my nice headphones in, my really good studio ones, there's some apps, free apps, and I've made some rad shit. And not only does it sound good there, I'm then allowed to save it as a wave, email it to myself on Gmail, then open it in my real hardcore software at home, and fuck with it. And it, dude, that's incredible that we've got it right now.
Phones.
The cell phones are nuts
Like
with
the
those
Apple
apps.
products come with a GarageBand, which is you can pretty much do everything right there.
Yeah.
Make a whole bunch of neat songs. Like you said, send them to yourself and be able to do more with them.
Right, that's where it would up the ante, I suppose, as far as your income or whatever you have going for you.
Almost
But
everybody
most people has a smartphone now. Yeah,
It just seems to be just kind of the thing.
Yeah, so I guess if you have a pair of headphones and a smartphone, you could find yourself making music.
Yeah.
That'd be the bare necessities. And even with my smartphone, I was telling Cody, I tested out the voice recorder app that I downloaded just to see what it would be like.
Horrible.
It wasn't horrible. I uploaded the WAV file to my software, put a compressor on it, and it actually sounded pretty fucking good. I was like, wow.
I have some friends that use their cell phones to record their music, and you'd be sometimes surprised.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that actually came out mixed all right. Like, they put it in the right spot of the room.
Yeah, we put a pillow over it, and it worked out great.
You gotta put it in the right spot.
Exactly.
Yeah. It happens, yeah.
It's neat. I come from the old school where, we've done everything from, connect, Radio Shack shit together to tape decks and, if you look to your left here, you just see stacks of demo tapes from back in my olden days. Because we did it the old way. We did take mics and mic each drum and run it through an old Tascam into another piece of device into a tape deck, and it was like, we thought we were genius. Now here we sit in front of a laptop with one condenser mic, and this probably sounds pretty damn good, except for that glitch I have going on, but we're working on it.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with the ease of technology now, seriously, my goal with the stand-up is to just put enough time in, and then if I can command a room well enough, just pack one full of 20, 30 people here in Elmira, if I can do well in front of them, shoot one guerrilla style, like a special.
Well, actually,
You know what I mean? Just get buddies to do it by the cameras myself.
You gotta get
just
a press kit together and some stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to say Buffalo might have a really good scene. I've heard.
Yeah.
Yo.
Check around, like.
Yeah, but I mean, if I just shot one guerrilla style and put it up on the internet for free, edit it myself and shit, and just put one out.
But I think what Ash is getting at is if you submitted something, let's say you're like a program at Buffalo Tech, whatever, and
that's me creating my reel.
Well, not even
but
Buffalo Tech.
I'm just saying
there's a legitimate scene in Buffalo of stand-up comedy.
I know there is.
Where, like,
I know there is.
That would be a good place, like, that you could actually go.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Around here. I don't know. Around here, it'd be hard to even get a crowd.
No, that's what they say though. Is they say open mic somewhere, then go somewhere and be a comedian. That way, you're not known as an open micer there.
Right.
So you know what I mean, if I could put in some time around here and take some hits and eat dick on stage a few times here, then go somewhere else.
Yeah, but
kind of
finding
put it
the
together.
stage around here.
Hey, to my buddy, our buddies over at Awesome Talk. Hey, if you want to book Cody maybe a 10-minute slot somewhere while we're in the city, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Right, Cody?
God. Fuck it, I'd do it. I'd do it.
We're going to New York
do it.
here.
I wouldn't care. I'd do it. Why wouldn't I do it? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't I do it? Just to be like, I fucking did it.
Do it.
Just so I can tell that story.
Fucking just get up there and do it.
But yeah, no, I'm talking about creating a reel though to go somewhere. That way, when I go somewhere, if I could do semi-R-rated around here somewhere, film 20 minutes of it guerrilla style, what's available to me, make it sound good in editing, and like I could post it on the internet for free, and you can just watch it on like my YouTube channel. I go to a promoter and I go, hey, I'm looking for work. What do you got to show me? I can just be like, here's this YouTube clip, because most times you email with motherfuckers nowadays anyway. Just be like, here, click on this link, watch what I am, and if you like it, you like it. You know. I'm just gonna try to be really realistic. I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I might succeed at all, but I am pretty confident I might be able to do something. I wouldn't do it otherwise.
It's a real art to balance that what you're getting at there. Confidence and like becoming overzealous and like your judgment.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, it really is, because
I'll be nervous as shit before I do it.
I have stumbled, many a times on my own feet, pun intended, in projects because I didn't have the patience necessary to see things through, but the cause of that is the push that it requires to make things go in your direction or goal-oriented, vision, third eye vision, so to speak. So it's a fine line to walk, pun intended again, to figure out, how hard to push, but don't get so fucking pushy that the people around you are like, damn, you're kind of a dick about your career or whatever you want to call it, your hobby. You know what I mean? It is. It's a tough thing to manage for some of us, I guess. Maybe not for others. I don't know.
I'm not pushy about it. I just do it. Like, honestly, like, if I gotta, like, I don't know, I'm gonna do a podcast, just, all right, let's do it. If I want to do it, I'm not.
I forget, I come from a band point of view. You come from you're a one-man show. It's awesome.
Yeah,
and I do.
Different.
There's something, I don't diss my brothers in any of my bands. That's what's great about a band that's in a different way.
I'm just casually talking about it, though.
Yeah.
It's just kind of making it more real for me.
Right.
Like, people are like, well, what are you going to do at college? I'm like, I think I'm going to do stand-up comedy and do a podcast. And I'm saying it, and now I'm starting to do it. And I'm just going to do it. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to put it.
It's yours and yours
That's all you
alone.
can do.
Yeah, really. That's the way I'm looking at it.
That's what I meant when I was saying earlier about artists. Really, that makes the big difference is the ones that are out doing it. I mean,
You were the one that looked at me out back of a bar and goes, you should just go to California and just hang out with people. You'll meet the right people. Because I have that kind of personality, people. I just fucking drift in and drift out. That's what I do. But that's exactly what I want to do. That's why stand-up comedy seems awesome to me. I mean, I could just travel around and hang out with different people and have different experiences and see the country and fucking,
Sign titties.
yeah, do whatever.
Get free drugs.
Make mistakes with waitresses, whatever the fuck I end up doing.
Get drunk, wake up.
But I'm not attached. I'm not married. I don't have a child. I can do it with good conscience and do whatever I want to do. I'm a grown adult.
Hey, it didn't kill me, son.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
still sitting here and I did all of it.
I don't care if I just end up being like a road dog comic or some
Not
shit.
saying
That'd
I
be
do now,
awesome.
but at
It's
a
awesome
time.
to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm make nothing forever as long as it's like just enough. You know what I mean? Like, if I can just kind of just be a vagrant wandering around. That's like my bar. So if I get anything above that, I'll be exceedingly happy.
Dude,
If I have like mild success and I can like just put in solid work, I'd be like, oh my god.
touring's addictive, man. I like, I'm a happy husband and father, and
I'll
I
constantly
like
be
my life.
having experiences with
But I
different
want to
people.
say, like, any kids out there, I say kids, but like anybody who's like unattached, man, like the touring life, like, although maybe I'm not as active as I was at one point in my life, fucking touring is so addictive. If it's in your DNA to be a drifter, Cody and I talk about it all the time because I'm always reminiscing about my days on the road and shit, and fucking people bring back memories of nights I had forgotten, and they are just the most fucking hilarious stories to rehear and retell. And if I hadn't have just had the balls to just travel the country with my little rock band, I wouldn't have that fun shit. And so that's why, like, with Cody, I'm like, fuck yeah,
I have a
dude.
natural fear of
Fucking get a
routine
car
big
and just
stuff,
go
though.
on the
I
road,
get
do open
claustrophobic
mics.
in that way.
Fuck
I know
yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Tour
so.
the shit out of this country.
And I haven't made any decisions that have committed me today. That's why I still am free to just be like, okay.
Yo.
Well, I haven't, you know what I mean? I'm looking at the other waters now, and it's like I'm diving in and just fuck it. It's like I'm not going to stick my toe in and be like, can I do this? It's like, just do it.
That's fun.
If you got to go to a bar and have some rad experience with somebody who gets really mad at you, or you get heckled off stage, it's like, it's not like it's the first time I've ever been picked on. The first time I had something go wrong, you know what I mean?
Damn right.
And how many times have I been around a cash register, had somebody fucking freak out on me, and I'm handling it in the most professional way possible. Doesn't matter. It's all just picking your poison. I mean, I'm sure as a musician you can get booed off stage. It'd be terrifying if you're at one of those places that like they throw bottles and shit. You know what I mean? Some of those bands fucking hardcore.
They still throw bottles and stuff.
Oh, there's gotta be places in this country that still do that.
One of my favorite
Down
Clutch
south?
videos.
It's probably like Chicken Wire and shit still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played
Best
behind
stay
Chicken
away from
Wire.
that zone.
I have, yep.
Stay out of Florida and you get shot.
Shovel Barn played a couple of venues. Actually, you'd think we're talking South Midwest, but they were actually more. No, I think it was actually Scranton, PA. There was a hardcore venue that Shovel Barn played, and it was behind a fence. I swear, the pit and everybody else, the whole entire audience, was behind a chain link fence, and it was the weirdest thing to play behind that thing because we weren't used to that.
Yeah.
But then once the show started and we started playing, by the third song I was like, oh, I'm glad that fucking fence is there. Jesus Christ, these fuckers are out of their minds.
These guys are fucking
there's like 10 of them
fucking
hanging
savages.
off the fence and shit. I'm like, go Scranton. No wonder, man, this place is hardcore. You know, they were into it. It was fucking rad. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely got to go out to a few more live shows. And that band I always preached to you about that every time I die. I did get to see them live, by the way. Holy fuck.
That was such a great show.
Holy fuck.
So good.
So good.
Lost Horizon, Syracuse people. Yep.
A very good venue to see a
Yep.
show because of the way it's set up.
I love The Lost. It's one of my favorite.
There's like a
venues.
downward pit, but an elevated thing, and then the wraparound bar. It's really fucking. It's built to handle people, and it's like just big enough to handle the sound. I mean, I still maintain that the Haunt probably has a better sound quality, but the Lost Horizon is cooler.
I miss the original, huh?
I do
that
too,
place
bro.
was the best.
Did you ever come out? Were you ever at like any old Shovel Barn shows or anything at the old Green
I
Street?
actually helped do stage production on one of your shows at the high school.
Oh, I feel like such a dick that I don't know
That was
that.
such a long time ago.
Oh, my brother,
forever
but
ago.
damn, I should know things like
But-
that.
Nah.
Oh, but that's cool.
I
That's
remember when you guys you had like the cassette tapes that had the
Yeah.
fluorescent backings. I think I still
Yeah.
have it somewhere.
yeah, we did a lot of acid back
Yeah.
then. Back then,
Like 20 years ago.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, man, statute of
Ridiculous.
limitations and shit.
Fucking A, you know, it was like the 60s, whatever. The old Green Street days. Hey, that Holiday Inn across the street, that was very convenient for a rocker like myself. Let me tell you what.
You know, instead of going to college, some people
surprised they
started
didn't
rock
ban
band,
us
do
from that
acid, and tour the
motherfucker.
country, people.
Holy
that was
shit.
an option. Sorry,
We-
you didn't pick it.
Oh, Jay Harmon is a good buddy of mine. He owns that place. Still, he owns a new one too, of course. Yep. Jay, love you. If you get a chance to listen to this, and the Haunt, kudos. Cool venue, definitely. Maintenance showed up. They're vacuuming our lounge for us.
I just heard it. It's whatever.
Just figured I'd let people know. Gotta keep a clean lounge area.
The green room.
The green room, yeah,
Green
whatever
room.
you want to call it.
No, it is depressing that there is no fucking local art scene in this area, really, though. If you really get into it, there's not
it
much
ebbs
going
and
on. It
flows.
barely has. It's got a faint pulse. That's about it. It's
I've
here
seen
and
it ebb
there.
and flow throughout the years. I've seen it at good points. I've seen it really depressing points. It's kind of like the stock market. Sometimes it's really rare.
That's what I mean. I
and
really think
roaring.
there's a window for something to rally around here, like a sense of community here, like something that creates an epicenter to go to because there's nothing else here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we need to do something about that because I think that's just be good for people. Jumpstart something in them, maybe.
Yeah, and I think you're talking on a really local level because I think
Yeah.
even if you move to like Rochester or Syracuse or Buffalo, like we were talking about earlier, if you move to one of these other even just slightly bigger populations, you would see there is like, you know, that's why, you know, our band we go a couple of hours each weekend away to go to shows because there's something more substantial there. Now we try to bring some of that back to Elmira and share the wealth, and I think we do okay with that, but you're right, our scene suffers right here in Elmira. It suffers. It is, and we're trying like hell to keep it alive, musically, comedically, everythingly, you know.
No, that's what I mean. There is absolutely no comedy scene in this area. I've never seen one.
I don't know. I'll harp back to the income level. The expendable income of people is so low now. They can't feel the need to expend that extra income going out.
Yeah.
That and the society being so repressed that everybody's scared of everybody. Well, I'm afraid going out for an evening.
Yeah, my boy
Stay
wanted
inside, watch Netflix.
to go out and
Hide from the world. It's terrifying.
play toy guns with
Don't
his
go out there and have
friends
fun.
today, and I had to
new
give a big
people,
lecture
make
about
friends.
it. You know, I remember a time when I was a kid, we could play toy guns in the backyard and not have to worry about actually getting shot with
God.
a real gun.
Or getting abducted.
And today I had to have the lecture with my son, like, I'm glad that Nerf gun is Dayglow orange and like blue, which would...
It looks like something from a Predator movie.
Right,
Yeah.
instead of, you know, a real gun,
Yeah,
because
like real at all.
in this neighborhood...
That kid's got a hand cannon. Holy
Right,
shit.
yeah. Look out! Fucking 11-year-olds are armed and dangerous. You know, there was a time where we could run around the neighborhood and do that, and now we'll feel a threat, you know. And
Yeah.
now it's like, damn, man. Maybe it's just because I'm a parent now. Maybe
Apologies for the dogs.
my parents probably thought the same shit, you know. They probably were like, oh, somebody's gonna, you know. I doubt it, though. This was a different time back then around here, man. Things have changed, definitely. My neighborhood has, at least.
Fucking thought you were losing it.
I remember being out back
Yeah,
a
there's
lot.
this thing in the roofs.
Being out back a lot every summer.
Yeah.
Dressed to the nines in ninja costumes.
Oh,
masks and
yeah.
camouflage. And just
Homemade nunchucks.
running around the neighborhood playing guns and stuff. And
Yep.
I even remember getting stopped. My brother got stopped by the cops the one time, and we had to explain what we were doing. He felt like an ass after the fact because he thought he caught something going down. It was just a bunch of kids playing.
Yeah.
You see in his face, he's like, I was hoping for something more. But,
Ha, your asshole-ish didn't work out for you this time, buddy.
yeah,
Go bust somebody else's balls, you
A
know.
lot of sneakiness going around, I guess. I don't know. But
Yeah. Well, we gotta have our lurkers, you know.
sign of the times changing. And
I know, it's like my last little rant there. I always feel like an old man afterwards. Like, oh, you just sound like another typical 38-year-old. Blah, blah, blah. Things have changed. I don't like the way things are turning out. This is getting awful scary, you know. And I'm like, oh, God, am I that dude? And, you know, but you just accept it. You're like, fuck it. It's what happens as you old, you know, as you grow older.
Grows.
Your perspective changes, and it's hard to explain to younger people, and I don't mean in any condescending way, but, like, just imagine if you are cynical, it exponentially gets worse. So your cynicism becomes very dark if you are cynical at all. And by the time you're 38, you're pretty fucking cynical, man. You know, I mean, that's why we turned to satire. Like I said, turn cynicism into satire. Bam, you got yourself a comedy instead of tragedy.
yeah, it helps to grin and bear it anyway.
It does. You're right. Something about bucking up.
No, the truth
Don't
is
be
you
a
have
pussy.
to conduct yourself with a degree of cynicism when interacting with people because it's what's necessary. Because it's what keeps you from getting jammed up by other people's fucking schemes and shit. So, because a lot of people are out there just fucking predatory style, just gonna fucking leech onto you and fuck your shit up, you know. So, degree of cynicism and skepticism with anybody is cool, and if you can get beyond that, and then you're comfortable and you can kind of trust this person because you know they're on the up and up. That's different, but it's tough. And everybody's so paranoid and isolated and shut into their own little worlds nowadays. We've destroyed any sense of community or like being out or being social. It's really gross.
Oh yeah, you're helping my indigestion though. You notice I'm burping over your thing. It's like, yeah, just talk about society and I'll just start like
I'll
puking
feel
out
ill.
No, well, it'll help my fucking GERD and shit, you know.
You know, mild intruder. Nope, never mind. Mild intruder's still here.
Oh, yeah, we got a little free visitor. That's all right.
we
What's
need
up?
to let the mild intruder out.
You want to get out of here? Well, she wants to be a part of this, apparently. Ladies and gentlemen, Princess, say hello. Get out of here. Come on, go. Good girl. There you go. Thank you. Hey, you never know who's gonna show up at the old studio. Covered in hair.
The security here is top notch.
Yeah, just stray animals come roaming in, you know.
We're locked away in the most professional environment imaginable.
We do our best to keep our location under wraps, you know, like we're just out in the woods somewhere.
Keep it real, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Real life happens. You can pretend it doesn't. It's just gonna fucking cock slap you in the face.
Yeah. As Bill Hicks would say, ride that wave, bitch. I don't know if you would have said
Just
it
a
exactly
ride.
like that, but if you're not feeling so steady on the surfboard, just fucking lean a little to the right, man. Fuck it. Fucking don't fucking fret the tidal wave, just fucking stare into the goddamn curve, bitch.
Yeah. Well, you know. Shit's just.
Shit.
It is what it is. Always will be. Always will. Yeah, I don't know. It's just. You can either, like, delude yourself and get lost in rationalizations and stuff that's not your own original thought, or you can try to think for yourself and be a weak bitch, probably suffer easy and burn out quick, you know, because you can't make it, giving us a bad name for thinking outside the box, you know, as ammo to assassinate our character and defame us. So we're discredited and looked at as crazy because the definition of sanity is run by an institution. Did you not know that? Oh. So, you know, perceive whatever the fuck you want from what I say. It doesn't matter. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen to me. I've made my choices. At least I could say I made them. It's more than most of you can say. And now I'm attacking the audience. That's the way to win them over. Call them all worthless pieces of shit.
Cody, if you think of it, do me a favor and throw a link up to that video of Terrence McKenna talking about culture, because that's what it makes me think of. You know, that really nice one with the arrows and the words on
I feel
it.
motivated, I will.
It's because, I'm just saying, if you think of it, because
Terrence McKenna's been shoved down people's throats lately.
Yeah, Terrence McKenna's
The internet presence of Terrence McKenna is pretty big now.
Is it good?
Hell, it is.
What?
I feel like I started a
I don't think
movement
I
then, because when I started talking about
I'm
it,
just saying, it's
nobody
like I
did.
get a lot of different quotes thrown my way, videos, different things. People are really tossing that old stuff around now.
He deserves it.
Alan Watts, stuff like that.
He was ahead of his
Listen to
time.
some Alan Watts shit that blew my mind. I did not know who Alan Watts was, and I was like, oh my god. You think you have original thoughts, then you find out somebody
was
figured it out like
original.
30 years before you, and you feel like a fucking jag off. You know?
Did you ever show Ash that?
What?
The Terrence McKenna?
Oh yeah, it's like Terrence McKenna if he was in
That's
The
a
Simpsons.
portrait of Terrence I did. That's actually Cody's painting I did for him. And it's a portrait of Terrence McKenna, because at the time I was like geeking out on the dude's every word like it was gospel. Cause
There's a lot of interesting
I was at the
lectures
time
from the
was very,
psychedelic
like,
generation
just had a
people
lot of questions, and I'd had a lot of experiences.
that weirdly
you put it in
really
a cool
fit
context.
and apply today. If you go back and listen to what people like, I watched the video of Philip K. Dick talking about the Matrix, and that blew my mind. I'm like, oh my god, this was in like what, 1977? Holy shit, that guy was probably crazy, but he introduced like a seriously interesting thought into the, you know. I'm sure that's why I'm in love with A Scanner Darkly so much, because it's like a fantastic movie. I like the 1984ness of it, you know. I like looking at society all fucked up, but then again, I'm jaded from my own experiences and viewpoints and stagnation and limitations.
Just from a purely
And who I have
aesthetic
to
point of
resign,
view, I think there's
like,
something to be said for a skin
Bow
darkly.
to for as a power structure, which I hate, but I suck up my pride and I do what I gotta do.
By the way, not to harp on it, but your editing on the last episode you did was just exquisite. You pulled an image there from Skin Darkly, and it's and it just so happened to fit the commentary at the time so well. If you really think of things in perspective,
I just want to talk about show things, all the stuff that I find interesting, whether it be my own entertainment, what I'm doing, or what I watch, or what I listen to, or what me and my friends talk about, or, you know, just, it's like, check this out, check this out, check this out.
yeah.
If anything, I want to like encourage more people to go buy that fucking movie. Go buy that movie. It's a good
You're
movie.
a farmer, man.
If you don't get it, you're a sheeple.
Yeah.
You don't get that movie at all. This is weird. What's with the drawing? Oh my god.
Well,
God forbid we see an original thought film. It's not fucking just
some people
pumped
don't
out.
have the capacity to watch that. You have to find something that they do have that they have the capacity to watch. That's in the
That's
same,
what I would-
it's in
I
a
would-
similar direction.
I would advocate to the average listener, like, watch movies alone. Make that a habit. You really digest it different. Like when you're just watching it, nobody's fucking with you. You really will watch the fuck out of a movie
I
and
would
then
equate
get
it
lost
to
in that movie.
reading aloud in a college classroom is different.
It's
than
almost like, you know, like
reading
when you're
yourself.
kindergarten, you know, you don't read the books that don't have hardcovers on them.
Yeah.
It's like that for other people in film and other media. I mean, sometimes you can't expect them to jump in that far and really get anything from it.
They have
Yeah.
the past to choose your own adventure
kinda-
books.
You kind of have to get them in a direction
I know.
to move it towards that.
Yeah.
But it's because they think they're in a culture that like encourages acting that way or considering it not cool. I would say more than them being stupid. I think it's them thinking they're excelling at a certain lifestyle. Fucking nerd, weirdo. You know what I mean? Like,
Back to
True.
the thing though, loaded.
look at my SUV and
Loaded
nice house,
turns.
and my husband makes money. And I'm fucking loaded up on Valium and Xanax. Drink a little red wine and bang the gardener. You know? Got 3 kids, we got a minivan. Our life's a lie. But this is the portrait representation of what's a functional family of America.
A copy of a copy of a copy of a
Oh.
copy
Yeah,
of a copy of
the-
a copy of a copy
The
of a copy.
font of nuclear family, might you say.
The font, I like that. Very poetic, my friend.
It's,
Rogan says it best. Life's a Coen Brothers movie. It's fucking amazing. It's a true. It's like a weird. Like I said the other night, I was like, if you get too fucked up, you'll be like, life's a weird Andy Warhol moment, and you're just like, oh god, this is gross, and you can't. there's certain cocktails I've thrown together where I feel like I've hit moments of pure clarity, of like where I'm hyper aware of the moment to an extent where like it hits you all at once, and it's like the most disgusting feeling you'll ever feel.
Yeah, I think my doctor
you're like,
calls
it's
it
so vain.
anxiety.
It's so vain. You see through all of it. Just it's truth. You're like, oh god, oh shit, I wasn't ready for that, dude. Put the mirror down. I don't want to look at myself anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that whole analogy of the
even
cave
when you're
was
that
written
far
so
out
many
thinking, is
thousands
my
of
point.
years ago,
When I'm shown
that.
truth.
Thousands, I hope. Am I right on that?
For what?
The analogy of the cave. I'm assuming.
Seeing the shadows on the wall,
Yeah.
it's an old philosophical thing.
But
When
it
you
goes-
take them up out into the sunlight and they didn't know this world existed.
Yeah.
Therefore, all they knew was the shadows.
Right.
And they would never believe that there's actually light. So it's
And it's hard
Plato,
to,
I think, did it. It's Plato's
the idea I was going for is the end of that analogy is the light does burn, and it's hard to get used to, and you almost want to stay in the cave where it's what you're used to seeing is just the shadows from what's going on outside.
Yeah, it's like
And
watching
that's why
that
even
flipping
after all
lights
these
on.
thousands of years, it's such a great analogy, and it applies to so much like what we get talking about reality and life and go out and get them and strive for what you want. Like it's that like. If you could be that guiding hand that pulled someone from a shackled wall and said, "Look over here, behind the fire. There's actually something else going on." It's a subtle hustle. You have to like delicately take the person by the hand, guide them. And I'm not saying I'm more enlightened than somebody else. This thing happens in levels. That's the even more cool part. Is it's fractal. Like your cave analogy is going to be different than what level I'm at, and vice versa, and to everybody else. Is it a different level of the coming out of the cave, so to speak?
Those with courage will seek moments of
Truth.
the most extreme objectiveness you can achieve. Like, and that's not to say reaching enlightenment either. It's just whatever pinnacle moment you've constructed to all of a sudden get a glimpse of objectiveness. It may seem rough to you. Like, those are never going to be pleasant. You're never going to enjoy it, but you need it. You need it. You just need it because it places context and it'll reaffirm all this shit you've been like. It's a way to kind of almost like it's like the reset button in the back of a modem. You need to, boom, reaffirm your core goals. Therefore, you don't get sidetracked and waver too much. You're allowed a little leeway, but after a while, your operating system starts to run slow. So you need to, boom, hit yourself with some truth.
Yeah.
Boom, hit yourself with some truth. Don't get convoluted and get stuck in ego traps, so to speak. But
Yeah.
it's not fun. But it is fun, but it's not fun. Because you'll have a good time doing it, but later when you're by yourself thinking about it, the inner monologue can be a little weird. After effects of certain trips or whatever you do. But, it's not for the faint of heart. Life does take courage to live life. Like, it does take a certain degree of, like, do you have the balls to just grab it by the, grab your, pick up your weapon and fight for what you want? You know what I mean? And know what you're worth and go out there and get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you. It's just the way it is. You can't be afraid of confrontation. It's just culture in our society have transcended the need for it to always be violent. You may be taking an ass whipping without ever being physically touched, but it's warfare, people. It's chess. It's always, that's why you love those political thriller dramas when somebody can maneuver their way up the ladder and how people play the game, or like when you watch a medieval show like Game of Thrones and people are competing in like the court and it's all about political and public viewing. Yeah, that's what our basis is. That's where we come from. Yeah, we come from that. So if you think that society structure today is a little fucked, it's probably because of that. But
Because it is fucked.
Because it is fucked.
Yeah.
Built on unfixable bullshit.
Maybe it's weak, but I like to go to Shakespeare's life is but a stage. For me personally, it just works because when I put things in that context with the coming out of the cave and seeing things for what they are, the two coexist for me as like a guidance, if you will, because like Cody said, when life gets real to that real where you can almost feel it on every nerve ending, when you view life as almost like a play or a production and you're just a part of it, for me personally, there's some kind of weight lifted. Like, oh yeah, that's me. That's my role in this fucking show.
You have to be honest about the absurdity of everything.
I get comfort from that, and that's all I guess I'm getting at, and it helps me stay centered.
What are the statistical odds of our existence? And this is the dynamic of our, like, just the whole story, down to its fundamental core. Like, what are the statistical odds of that happening? Is so, and then we walk around just completely oblivious of even thinking along those lines. And again, what is statistical odds of it ending up like that, dude? The matter of existence.
It's a big universe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The matter of existence itself is just so fucking mind blowing that it's.
To quote our society or sociology teacher, Cody, this desk is real. It's not all gobbledygook. This desk is real.
I was like, but the point I was making, I was like, yeah, but it's not a desk because you named it a desk. It's just there. We call it a desk. Does that make it a desk? I don't know. Probably, because now we're defining it as a desk. But when you start having that conversation, it's so fucking meta. People are like, what?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you don't get it. It was not called a desk. Somebody built that one day and went, I don't know, what do we call it? I don't know, fucking desk. You know what I mean? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, you can't yank people from the shadows. You got to try to pull them at easy, slow process.
No, it highlights our fundamental, really.
Digest.
Like, we have way more control than we give ourselves credit for the manipulation of reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's right in front of us. All these, like,
it's always based on tradition, which is a look in the past.
Yes.
Yeah. We attach
which
ourselves.
Is unhealthy.
Yeah, it is unhealthy.
I like to look at the info. I look at the info and I get what I need out of it, and then
you need historians to remind us of the evilness that's.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I incorporate it as I do it, but I'm not continually looking in that direction.
To obsess.
Yeah.
As I progress, I'll occasionally look back into certain things that would apply to the scenario that I'm now like trying to navigate. So, like, is there any historical reference for the situation that I'm encountering? I think that's more of a logical way to approach it. That way, you can take information and apply it in context to you, because it's the most effective way you're going to do it, because there's no way to tell an honest, true history of the human species. We have no idea really what the fuck happened. So, and whatever the fuck is written down and how countries develop stuff, that could all be bullshit too. I don't trust people.
We only have the history of written by
exactly.
people
So I'm talking like, that's what I mean. I'll take like raw data and kind of like tell my own story around it. Like, if I were to look back and be like, well, if life was like this and socially it was like this and this is how things function, they probably would have acted for said. You have to tell the story to the raw data, and that people would say that you're manipulating history to suit your narrative, and it's like, no, I'm trying to do something productive with it instead of like mainlining it into something that contributes to the system that's fucking everything up. The same thinking that got you into the problem won't solve the problem. That's the
definition of insanity, my friend.
And that's what, and like what I'm coming back to is either I'm outside the box and I'm pushing, or there was never a box to begin with, or like maybe I can never get outside the box at all because of my conditioned reality and society. Maybe I'm pre-planned. Like, there's somebody somewhere that is like, this personality type may exist, and this person would make said decisions if said things happen to them. They may have us statistically analyzed on that level through the amount of information they've now had over 10 years of access to. To say that some system has not been developed around that is insanity. It's just, they don't just take that shit for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm saying the people that really run the world. I'm not talking the U.S. government. I'm talking like the Rothschild motherfuckers. They're going to want to know.
But it's all in how much information you put out there.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, they're only limited to what you're
But the problem about people is we're very naked. It's easy to read us like that.
Yeah.
Enough information, you can extrapolate stuff. We make TV shows based on people with those talents. That's somebody that can go into, like the guy that can go into a room and
Control S. Just in case power failure.
Yeah.
Save. Control S. You can save over.
But like the guy that can go into a room in like a police department and break somebody because he can see right through it. You know what I mean? Like, that exists. That's my point.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where I was going with it now because of that, but it's the perception of everything is just that, a perception. So it's malleable. You do what you want with it. It can be fun. It could be awesome. It could be this. It could be that. It can be subverted. It can lead to your own. You can endanger yourself with it. If I rub this system the wrong way, this system could easily just snuff me out like a candle in the wind. You would never even fucking know or notice. It's so
not what happens to you, it's what you are doing with what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things are gonna happen all the time.
Exactly. My goal is if I'm a
And
comedian,
for us
nobody
to
will
try
ever
to
take
get
me
our head
fucking
around
seriously.
what may or may not happen next is purely
That's the goal.
bullshit.
Scamming it.
And it does seem kind of odd that when you
We
think
just-
of it, that comedians are almost they're giving us our news and they're giving us our history in a much more truthful fashion. And
Yep, that's
somehow-
kind of why I want to do
Somehow,
it.
because they're a comedian, nobody takes them serious. But it's like they're just up there shouting,
Yeah.
shouting like George Carlin,
Yeah.
shouting your face.
It's a big fucking club, and you ain't in it.
And they
you know?
just laugh at them, and then when they leave, they go back to their normal bullshit lives. It's so funny. It's so weird.
It's so megalomaniac for the comedian too, because I'm going to be laughing at the fact that that just happened. That I know the absurdity of what just happened will be like, I don't know. I'm selfish in that way.
Well, Ash, I don't want to pigeonhole you because I only listened to one track tonight, and I'm going to check out more of your music here after this podcast, definitely. But you know, from what I heard, and you even made a reference of folk to yourself, but to the point is like, you know, maybe the reason I'm more lenient towards a metal hardcore music genre, and that's why if you look at my catalog of music, you're going to hear more metal, punk, rock, and thrash, you know, because of that same thing though. But it doesn't matter. The thing you just did blew it all to shit with the Carlin commentary, because he was screaming fire in a goddamn fucking room full of people. And that's the way I look at music too. Like John Lennon really went a long way with his music, and it wasn't loud. It was very
That's what I mean. That's why I hold certain artists
digestible.
important to me. They
But you
spark
know,
my.
I'm in more of a band that we're shouting revolutionary. We're literally asking people
I'm
to
a-
start a riot
that's
in
what
our
I mean.
lyrics.
I'm a child raised on entertainment.
Because I figure
music and movies
and that
raised
doesn't
me.
even do anything. That was my point. Years of that, and what has it done? I've been screaming fire on stage for 20 years, and it hasn't changed the world. People
Never
just
will.
keep on trucking on and
Or
believing.
will it? Who knows? It doesn't matter.
Faith in the government.
Rage against it. Defy it.
It's because we're all born children and we want to stay children, and our government is like this fake facade of a parent, and we like that comfort.
By
as
being openly
people.
defiant, till you give strength to others to do so.
I'm meant to rally
So.
against it. Fuck yeah.
But be defiant in smart ways. Don't give them a reason to just fucking throw you in a hole.
Make mom and dad give you an explanation. Don't just accept because I said so. And that goes for your government. You're a part of a family in the country, and so don't just accept because I say so. Say why. Demand why.
It almost comes down to just education. I think you just have to really to start having more open conversations.
Our whole perception of like how formative
That's a
human
good
beings
point.
need to be nurtured
How
needs
things
to be
work, I
reevaluated.
We're sending our children to schools that are pretty much Scantron tests now for
I know.
It's
whatever
fucking,
garbage.
it's nightmarish.
It's silly.
It's
I mean,
Orwellian as
I've been
fuck.
threatening homeschool
It's-
for a while,
you-
man.
it's up to people that have children to make sure that they're telling them the truth
Yeah.
the whole time. Just tell them the truth, because they'll make better decisions. And if this isn't something that's going to happen tomorrow, this is something that'll take generations before we.
I just, for some reason, at an early age, was like,
to really do it though, to do
I
it
just was
properly.
like, I looked at everything and I was like, oh, everybody's full of shit. Oh, thank God. I thought this was all how it really was for a minute. I don't know what really
I mean,
brought that on to me, but
It's like the
came.
boat analogy. When you're in a large boat in the ocean, you can't just do a 180 and go the other direction. You got to
Yeah.
turn the boat around. You
Yeah.
got to slow it down, and you got to turn it all the way around, and you got to
Yeah.
go back the other way.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. So I really think, really the only thing we can do is to just keep truly telling everybody that you can.
Yep.
There are certain people in this world that have the most resources. You know, they have the resources. Like, what's it, like 1%? I don't know if it's literally 1% or whatever it is of those people that have. You know, like there's 99% of the people that base comparatively nothing.
We covered in the last
So-
podcast that we could food
Well,
and health and
it's
shelter
just-
everybody.
They have us thinking that there's a system
it's
that we
just-
have to follow, but
yeah,
that system
for
is just,
safety,
it's an
but-
abstract thought.
Yeah.
You know, we are an animal on this planet that
It's a
is
false
hurtling
sense
through
of
space.
security.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the game, the way the game is played, we're playing Monopoly.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
Basically, I mean, if you want to put it into
It's
a
based
simple,
on the illusion of
simple
scarcity of
thing.
resources when it's
We're
that's an
playing-
illusion
You're an
itself.
analogy guy like
we're
me,
playing
like-
the game of Monopoly.
Yes.
Well, we should
All
be playing
need-
chess.
All we need to do is to change the game.
Mhm.
And if the 99% of the people have none of those resources, they have the motivation to change the game. All they have to say is, okay, I don't know, we're not going to use your money anymore. We're going to use our own money. And it's going to be based on a system that actually makes sense, not your loony system of crap. Yeah. And if we just did that, and we just were like,
fuck off!
If everyone did that at one time. Yeah. But the thing is, there's a tipping point.
We mentioned before, though, now, we've mentioned it, and Joe Rogan mentions it, now with Bitcoin and what's going on with that. And I know there's some hubbub right now in the news about it, but...
We're on the verge of some weird fucking shit in this
we are,
country.
man. The actual thing that we consider currency is currently, and not just a national question mark, we're talking an international question mark, currency. And that has been our base humanity, as far as our human evolution for the last, 1,000 years maybe, or further back even.
America is one of the pigs that built it out of sticks instead of
thousands of years. Yes,
we're fucking retarded.
So now the monetary system, something that's been fundamental to our whole societal basis, we're on the brink in our lifetime. I'm proud to say
power and resources to a select group that are going to form a one world government when the collapse occurs.
People are going to talk about money in different ways, like, hey, how many astral diamonds do you have, or whatever they're called on the internet, or whatever. It'll be a whole different world, man. And maybe it'll help us unite the world if it's a common currency, perhaps.
It depends if they allow the internet to be
and it's uncontrolled. Exactly. Yeah. That was my next point.
Well, you can access 96%.
That's why I'm a freedom fighter on the internet. I'm always trying to get people rallied to fight.
Like there's a whole dark side of the moon.
I know, but the scary thing about internet freedom is we're running through their pipes.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
That means that no matter how loud we shout, they can still do whatever they want.
They're two chess moves.
But that could actually spark some more motivation out of the lazy ass people in this country. If those kids can't play their Xbox games, they're gonna freak out.
True.
Without getting laughed at.
See, what we need is like some.
They've been training Call of Duty for years. These kids know how to talk to each other.
What we need is like some black belt level fucking hackers and shit on our side.
Right, but not only that, and I don't want to make a fool of myself.
Dudes that will fuck up national security systems and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I know those fucking coding motherfuckers exist. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Like
that's what we need is like those people.
Well, I think
will be the new. Like, we don't need the military. We need these people to step forward for us because it's like. Like it's on you to defend the people because most of us are too fucking stupid to know how to do it.
Well, I'm curious to ask.
And I humbly plead for your help. You know what I mean?
What do you think of organizations like Anonymous? They claim to be anonymous, but by default, just like
I wish it would
just
do
like
more.
atheism.
Wish it would do
by
more.
default, atheists become the things they don't want to be.
Anonymous for
I went on and on last time about that, but I'm curious about Anonymous, and I bring that up because. What you're talking about is an infiltration from the inside out is what needs to happen here, essentially.
Fight Club needs to happen.
If Anonymous
watch you while you sleep.
But
don't fuck with us.
I don't know. I
don't know about that. I think it would.
Do you think we need?
No, that kind of network needs to exist.
What it needs to happen is
not the contents of what Fight Club did. I'm just saying, like,
it has to be
that kind of connection.
Natural evolution of society.
Yes. Nothing's peaceful about evolution.
Convince enough people though, and you can fucking
do it. The Czech Republic, when Czechoslovakia broke into two countries, it was the Velvet Revolution. It happened overnight. You signed a paper. Everyone was cool with it.
I just was talking about Egypt. I'm like, they were just like, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like,
it's rare you hear good history like that with quality, like love and something actually nice came of that.
Well, they were two countries before they were put into one, so they were perfectly fine becoming two countries.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Basically, what it was, but. What I mean is you have to get enough people comfortable with the idea of understanding the system to the point where they will be comfortable bucking the system and running the new system that can be ran appropriately, I guess you could say. A more fair system of society.
Can you hand me that root beer, bud? Please.
Thanks. And that would just take time to get enough people to actually get to the tipping point where people could just do it. It's not like people need to gather. They don't need to change anything they're doing. They just need to stop using their currency and start using the new currency, which can be whatever society wants it to be.
Yeah.
However it's based on, whoever the smart geeky people.
I would consider that as the first step in going towards a currency-less society. That would
be
the end goal for me.
Basically.
We need a resource-based economy. Yes.
Something that.
Definitely.
I'm way pro base resource
Peter Joseph and shit like that. I'm pro that stuff all the way. That dude's all about just having the conversation, and that's what needs to be had.
If you only
need to have this conversation
3 days a week,
because
the workload is properly distributed, everyone's educated, and I mean, this is like, you know, in the future.
I hear you, man.
People could actually have more free time for creativity.
Well, listen,
because
I was watching. If I listen, if I understood what I saw from one of the Venus Project things, they had it worked out. So what it would be required is like a 3 or 4 year service of like doing minimal work here and there, and you could really ship it off to like 18-year-olds that have to do it as like their rite of passage to be an adult, and then you're good. So there'll always be people to work it, you know what I mean? But it's like something everybody does, so you know what I mean, like it would be fair and across the board. And then because like with the way energy trends work now and the way we can grow and distribute food, like all that stuff's inefficient right now. You need to be self-sufficient on site, you know what I mean? It needs, you do not need all this cross travel and emissions and all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
So if you do that, bam, and then just encourage educational centers, creative arts, and leap forwards in technology. Like if you just encourage that, people get lazy. Be like, no, we would be putting you in a position to elevate stuff to the next level. We need fucking the next generation of shit to come out of us because we got to keep pace with this crazy evolving technology that's going along with us. We need to be in an open mind frame to adapt to whatever the fuck's coming. And like the better position we are to do that, the better our chances are. It could be the machine's rule if we don't do it right, I think.
Well, without getting too hallmarky, you know.
I think we need to merge.
You know,
I think we'll merge with the machines and then they'll take over anyway. But
when I first met
we're gonna
Cody,
create a super being. You watch.
Yeah, I'm here for the movie. But when I first met you at school, you know, like that's not when we met first, but when we first really started talking more and more at school about these sort of things, like a lot of what you talked about came at the perfect time at my age because I was on that midlife tipping scale where I didn't foresee a lot of hope, and I was also educating myself on a higher level being in college. So I was on top of already becoming cynical. I was really seeing that I had
counterbalanced with a lot of new, fresh, inspiring information.
So the point is,
feel better.
As I was not only being reinstilled that there's a lot of bad shit that's gone down, and it was being reinstilled as fact. I met somebody who presented a future to me that wasn't so far-fetched like I've heard in the past, where it's like, and you said it before, yo, I'm not fucking talking utopia, bro. I'm not a fucking, I don't believe that's gonna be.
I'm banging on a tambourine in the corner,
exactly.
Fucking selling love, man.
But the idea
of
what resource-based economy, what we talk about,
I believe in trends in technology.
That changed my heart, though.
Statistical plan charts.
They
go, this is what's coming next.
Yeah.
Because like Ray Kurzweil called like everything for like the last 35 years. He's like, this will spawn then. This will spawn then.
Yep.
And like what happens is it gets to such an exponential point at 2045. It's so beyond our comprehension, we don't know what will happen. That'll be like infiltration of technology into the basic fabric of matter. Is essentially what's going to happen.
We also have those great sci-fi movies that show us that the worst has to happen before the good happens.
It's fucking.
And I don't know.
We're going to be fucking alive for that shit, dude.
Is that true? Are we going to have to see something?
We're going to make Dr. Manhattan. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. I saw the new Godzilla trailer. It looks pretty fucking scary to me. And that's just a creature that lives in the earth. And
a sentient being.
And I wouldn't want to piss off
10,000 times the mental capability of one of us.
Yeah.
Just imagine that.
I wouldn't want to piss them off either.
It'd be like the movie Limitless on crack. You know what I mean? Like that you're gonna turn that thing on and it's gonna do whatever the fuck it wants. It can think its way out of that room. It can. It's smarter than all of you. It will size everything up like that and be like, or maybe it'll fucking know how to quantum teleport. Who the fuck knows? You'd be like, and like there's this god being, and all of a sudden it's broadcasting a message, or maybe just realizes the nature of existence and destroys and restarts everything. Who knows? Maybe that is the Antichrist, the technological Antichrist.
Maybe when I go to sleep tonight, I'll wake up.
But he's not really evil. He's there for his necessary fucking end.
My reality would be totally different when I wake up.
It's a natural result. There's no evil in it. It's just
a on a lizardy type planet. Be looking for some kind of insect that has like 18 eyes.
Well, there's reptilian shapeshifters run everything. I know that for a fact.
I'll accept it as normal. I'll be like, yeah, this happens every day. Maybe today was the only day I was ever a human being. I just think I've been a human for 38 years. But when I go to sleep tonight and I wake up again, maybe I'll be something totally fucking different. I like to go there. It's fun. Because it makes you question reality.
I entertain the idea that we're all Sims. Yeah, you ever just like stand in the middle of the room, have no idea why you're doing it? You're just walking in somewhere and you're like, what the
Believe
fuck?
that
What am I
there's
doing?
another
We're
you
fucking Sims,
in a
bro.
simulation.
We're probably in a Matrix. So,
Yeah.
We're probably in the.
we're probably. I
I mean,
believe
I guess it's theoretically possible.
I believe
Yeah.
it's I believe it's either a cosmic form of a matrix or it's a technological one. I just don't know which one it is.
Why can't you?
Because
just
everything's
say-
interconnected in a way, so you're part of the web regardless, and it could be
We're
natural
part
and
of the
cosmic and
universe.
whatever the fuck this
Right,
is,
put it this way.
or it could be
It's just
technological.
one more carbon-based life form in the universe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even our level of like where we are, which I consider
I think there's
pretty
any
low,
debauchery about it.
but we're pretty low on the totem pole right now as far as like our.
I think we're a
evolution.
mathematical expression.
But look,
We don't know
we've
that.
already got the ability. Well, we don't know. Well, we can look.
I'm
at
just
what
going
we-
on personal beliefs.
But I'm saying that now with the technology of like the full suits with the glasses and everything, I would consider that barbaric technology compared to what we'll have in 1,000 years. So with that being
Like,
said,
Maybe.
it's possible that what we are experiencing is something from our another selves from the future. That's all I'm implying.
No, I'm just
If we have that technology now,
everything I say is
why-
unsubstantiated.
what would keep
and,
us from
like
having
when you're really
that
getting that far
technology?
out, it's all theoretical.
Yeah, it's all theoretical.
Yeah, I just try to tell something that would sound like it would make
Yeah.
sense. There's nothing wrong in exercising that
It's
muscle.
just something to think
You have
about.
to realize where we are in the universe too. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to look at things like for what they really are.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go. I don't think you have to dig too deep to say that we're part of the Matrix, man.
Yeah.
Just computer, whatever. But the
Yeah.
just understanding what we are and where we are in the universe. We're like in Redneckville.
I know.
We are like on one of the
Yeah.
farthest out spiral arms of our universe.
I know.
I mean, and it's so far to the center.
I
And
know.
there's so many planets
I know.
in the center. That if we could actually fucking get there,
Uh-huh.
imagine what we would find.
Intergalactic, all kinds
It would
of
be
politics.
insane. It'd be fucking Star Trek. But
Listen, I
Yeah,
know my monkey
diplomacy,
consciousness cannot even
politics, and
comprehend
on
what
a
the nature of
intergalactic
existence
level.
really is.
I mean,
I know that. I like to have fun and
Well, now
try
we know we both
to
believe
game
in other
to try to like
species,
understand
other
reality
life
as a
forms.
game
I mean,
because it's all it'll
only,
ever be.
It's only logical to say that there'd have to be, because if our planet, I guess, is about 4.5 billion years old. The universe is way older than that.
Oh, absolutely.
So the odds of us being the only
Oh yeah.
life form that
Oh,
has
yeah.
some sort of consciousness
Without a
is
doubt.
insane.
Without
But
a doubt.
we can't get anywhere. We're too
Yeah,
far out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
That's our
For
problem.
now.
We're isolated.
For now.
But I've heard this discussed in other debates. There's a good chance of technology being, as we've seen with our human eyes,
We're gonna figure it out.
that something could be in our midst right now. We've gone down the whole lizard people stuff, but what I'm talking about is technology that could make us, we could be very observed right now and not even be under the, because of our monkey brains, we don't have the capacity to know that we are being observed on a daily basis. And that's what maybe some people are like God or this and that, or maybe they did.
You know what always fucks me up?
Maybe somebody did garden the
Is-
earth, so to speak, with sprinkled seeds on it, whatever.
What always fucks me up is like the telescope
Intergalactically
thing,
speaking,
where
I
like
mean-
if you look through and you see light years away, how you're actually witnessing time travel.
Yeah, that's
That
always fun
fucking
to play
fucks with me so bad. I don't know why. It's hard to wrap my head around that. Like
The
what
light
you're
that you
seeing
see
is actually
yeah.
like you're
Like not
seeing.
the, it's not the light.
It's
that's
not the
like-
same light, yeah.
It's fucking. Like,
You're
oh my
so
god.
far. Well, that's what I mean. As far as traveling through time and space, I think, to me, if you could travel vast distances through time and space quickly, that we would be seeing a lot more activity.
No,
We're
you know
already
what?
seeing something. So it means to me almost that the universe's technology is limited to the speed of light almost. Like if there are aliens observing us, the main reason why they can't really land is because they've lived on a piece of space rock and been traveling for.
And let's not forget,
They
they
don't
made it even more.
they wouldn't even know
it's even more
their whole
difficult because the
planet.
universe is expanding.
They
So
are
not only
basically
is
like
it already daunting,
they're like
but
space
it's growing
explorers, you know,
Yeah.
and they probably wouldn't be able to survive on our planet anyway, and they probably just go around and do their thing. You know, if they're
No.
passing by, they're
I
passing
heard
by.
a
But that's
piece-
just where would they go?
Yeah.
We're like so far on the edge of nothing. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. Why the fuck would they even be bothered?
But if we
with us?
look back at our own intelligence,
other than for bad things.
right, that's what I'm saying.
You're,
If we look, that's the
you're-
unfortunate thing. We look
What's
at
his name there?
ourselves.
Stephen Hawkins like warned people like
Yeah.
we don't want aliens. They'll rape us.
Yes, if they're anything
Yeah.
like us, we are gonna succubus the shit
Well,
out
if
of
they
that.
had the technology to come here to
Sorry, if you
They're
are
gonna
an alien
enslave
life
us,
form
yeah.
listening
I mean,
now,
or eat
I'm
us
not
or
saying
whatever.
I
You're our new
I don't want to
pets.
rape
Yay.
your planet. I'm saying that
Say
it's-
hello to the new overlords.
it seems like our people like to do that on my behalf. I apologize for our species if you're listening.
No, listen,
Wow, I'm fucking.
I
talking
heard a
Koreans on fucking
rudimentary
podcast.
breakdown
Holy shit,
of
I've lost it now.
dude. I heard a rudimentary breakdown of like with the fourth dimension concept the other day, and how our dimension would appear like a circle flat the people of the fourth dimension, and time and space would not exist where they are. They actually exist in eternity while we exist in a perpetual thing of time. It's like some weird self-reflecting thing of itself. I was like, just listen, people. Be careful if you're like kind of high at 4 in the morning Googling different theoretical theories. You might freak yourself the fuck out. It happens. Like, seriously, that one hurt my brain. I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? Because I've heard multiverse theories, the bubble theories, how we're on a chain, like all this different stuff. You know what I mean? Right down to there's self-correcting binary web code in the fucking string theory equations of how they connect the universe together and explain it. So
that's the
fact
thing.
that you guys want to argue about typical politics or what's at all in the narrative mainstream wise is fucking laughable.
It is. It does kind of make it that way.
At best is a childish fucking
like
afterthought.
Yeah, because
slippery.
And
like sand through fingers is what
insane.
reality is. Like, you're never going to get it.
Nope.
Never going to get it. Never going to get it.
You might get it.
I liked what you posted earlier about the view from the moon, you know?
Yeah, you might get it. Like, right when you die and that DMT trip from your pineal gland rockets you into the collective conscious and you realize what true energy is. I don't know.
Oh shit, being the governor and hating homosexuals wasn't my real purpose on earth. Oh fuck, too late, bye, gone. Now you're in a fucking weird ass jelly bubble room going, where am I?
You go home eventually.
DMT. Welcome to your pineal gland being wide open and you're right in the center of it.
Yeah.
At least that's my English way of saying it now until we really figure that shit out, you know. It's the best I have to offer.
Alright, well, we've been going for a while and I feel comfortable calling it at this point. We've kind of gone down the rabbit hole pretty deep.
Good, because I need another...
yeah, I'm fucking that out of coffee! Listen, I'm going to need a shitload of caffeine to get this up tonight because it takes forever to convert on certain websites. Fuck you, YouTube. Get your shit together, god damn it. Listen, not really. Thank you for letting me post my videos for free. But it doesn't matter. I hope you all have fun.
Ash for being here tonight.
Thank you, Ash, for being here. We will have his info in the links for shit somehow. I'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. A monkey can use a keyboard and a mouse, I guess. Actually, yeah, we're all monkeys. But have a good one. Be easy. Stay out of trouble. Fuck the police. You know, do whatever you do. And I have money for a lawyer if it goes down that way.